Hey there, welcome to Franchise Revolution. This is your online resource for everything franchise ownership, from finding and identifying those franchises that are going to help you to achieve your financial and lifestyle goals, to making connections with the franchisors, to helping you to fund your franchises by connecting you with trusted financing partners, and then also helping you grow that franchise once you've launched it, and then with the ultimate goal of helping you to exit that franchise by finding a buyer for you so you can sell it for a profit and roll that into another franchise system, or just go ahead and retire. But either way, that's what we do here on the channel. My name is Jason Revere. I am the founder of Revolution Franchise Brokers, and our firm helps everyday people get into franchise ownership, often for the very first time. And we do all those things that we talked about at the top of the video here for them. If you're interested in learning more about our services, you can visit our website, revfran.com. We'll drop a link in the description to make it easy on you. And please like and subscribe to this video if you like what you see, and that way you can be sure that you're going to get every single piece of content that we produce. On today's episode, we are here to talk about a really exciting new franchise, relatively new franchise that I've just added to my portfolio and onto the Revolution Franchise Brokers roster. And it is in the home services space, and they have also got a little bit of a B2B component as well. And we're going to be breaking it down, and I want you to pay attention, because if you are looking for a franchise that has multi-million-dollar potential, this is a franchise that you're going to want to check out. Some quick numbers for you. $800,000 worth of revenue in the first year of business is what they're reporting in item 19 of their franchise disclosure document. That means that they've got a proven track record to get you from zero to $800,000 worth of revenue in your very first year of ownership. We're going to be talking about how they make that a reality as we go through this video today. But again, they do have multi-million-dollar potential. They do have other locations within their system that are doing substantially higher than that, but these are the numbers that they're reporting on year one. So again, if that sounds intriguing to you, keep listening. All right, that's great. Those are huge revenue numbers, right? Yeah, but what about profit? Right? Because I don't know about you, but I don't really want to do a whole bunch of work and not be able to keep the profits of the business, right? Our overhead is too much. Our cost of goods sold is too high, and we can't make any money, right? So what does the profit margins look like on this? Well, first off, let's talk about restaurant concepts, right? A lot of people look at restaurant concepts because they think they're amazing, and they can be great. But the reality of restaurant concepts, the net profitability is usually between 6 and 9%, right? That's not a lot of money to not a huge amount of percentage to play with. So if you're doing $1 million of revenue, that's about 60 grand of net profit. I don't know about you, but I don't really want to invest a whole bunch of money to open up a business to earn 60 grand of monies that I can keep and use at my own discretion, right? So what do the profit margins look like on this? They are going to be substantially higher than restaurants, and they're looking anywhere between 15 and 25%, depending on the owner's ability to operate a lean ship. So let's just split the difference there. We'll call it 20%. So off of that $800,000 of top line revenue that they're showing as a first year expenses, these types of businesses typically do, again, in that 20% range. So that is a pretty substantial income for the owner. That's about $160,000 for those of you keeping score. Not a bad way to generate an income that is, you can replace your own personal income pretty rapidly with this type of a business. Now, of course, everything's going to vary. There's no guarantees in operating a business, but the playbook is there, and the track record is there to get you to these kinds of numbers, and to do so in a relatively rapid fashion. So what is the franchise we're talking about here? I haven't even told you yet. The name of the franchise is Spartan Floor Coatings. Okay, Spartan Floor Coatings. And what do? They do exactly what it sounds like. Garage floor coating systems, basements, patios, pool decks, walkways, driveways, commercial and industrial flooring solutions, interior garage painting, custom garage cabinets. They do a whole bunch of stuff that's going to be in that garage area, right? When you start off your business, though, this is something for you to keep in mind. This type of a business, when you're just talking floor coatings, just kind of a nationwide average, is anywhere from between $3,000 and $5,000 per project. So this is a pretty high ticket, right? That's a good sized job, average ticket. And so you don't have to do a ton of jobs to make a ton of money, right? If you look back at some of our other videos here, the 5 key strategies for starting your very first franchise, one of them is high average ticket with a high gross profit margin. Well, what does the gross profit margin look like on this? We already discussed some of the net profit potential here, but the gross profit margin, if you just think about it, what is it? I've got labor expenses of the 2 guys that or gals that are going to be installing this floor coating. They're going to be doing all the stuff. They're going to be grinding the concrete out. They're going to be filling in the cracks of that concrete to give a smooth finish. They're going to be painting on the coating. They're going to be then doing the little beady things, little those little flaky guys that make it look real pretty, right? Real nice. And then they're going to be covering the top of it with a proprietary coating to ensure that it stays beautiful and long lasting for a long time. But does that sound like it's going to cost you a ton of money? It's some liquid, it's some time, it's some humans, and that's about it, right? So you're going to have a really high gross profit margin just because by virtue of the fact that your cost of goods sold is going to be so dang low, right? And so again, you don't have to do a ton of revenue to make a ton of profit for your business. Super key to doing this. This is a great first business for anybody out there that has what they're looking for, right? So let's talk about what this business really is. Because yes, it is a floor coatings business. But in reality, what is it? It's a marketing and sales business. You're going to be marketing like crazy in your local area, generating leads, getting those leads booked onto your calendar, and then you're going to be going out and meeting with these homeowners and looking at their garage floors and listening to them talk about their struggles and their pain points, and you're going to help them to solve those challenges, right? You're going to then sell them your services. So it is a marketing and sales organization. So who's good for this business? Who's an ideal fit for this business? Really, honestly, anybody that is good at relating to people, good at listening to people, comfortable speaking with folks in their own homes, right? And that is not necessarily a universal trait, right? Because every game that you play is an away game, right? They're not coming to you like you're a car dealership where you're master of your own domain. You're going to them, right? You're on their turf. They're the boss. And if you can confidently lead people when they're in their own environment and help them to make that right decision, you could be a really good fit for this. But again, you don't necessarily have to have that skill set because they've got a wonderful, robust training system in there, but you've got to be comfortable doing it because you, as the owner, will be doing those first several weeks to months worth of sales calls. Why? Because you've got to learn what you're doing. You got to have firsthand experience selling this product and service to your customers. That way, when you get ready to scale beyond what you have, because 2 people in this business, 2 people can install $1 million worth of installs, worth of garage floor coatings. And so you're not going to have to be managing a whole bunch of installers and a whole bunch of the people that are actually the doers. You are going to be out in the field meeting with these homeowners, listening to them, talking to them, hearing their pain points, getting really, really good at articulating your value proposition and selling the jobs. That way, when you're ready to scale, you're going to be able to hire somebody and they're going to believe that you are the end all be all of sales in this industry. That's why you do it. You're going to get them trained. You're going to get them highly trained by the franchisor. Franchisor is going to help. They have a 24/7 installation concierge, basically a trainer, an operations trainer that is going to be there at your beck and call when you need them in case things go awry or you have questions about installation stuff. On the same token, you also have that with the sales side of things because you need somebody to bounce ideas off of, right? And so that's what it's like to operate this business. Very simple business model, very rinse and repeat. So let's talk about initial investment, right? You got to be thinking, man, $800,000 first year of revenue. Maybe it's $1 million to buy into this. You're going to be Well, sorely disappointed if you like being right all the time, but you're going to be delighted if you are looking for something that is a much lower investment level. And their item 7 of their FDD, which is where they show you the table of the initial investment, and they break out where all of those expenditures are going to go, from the initial franchise fee all the way down to working capital and everything in between. They're showing $172,000. $172,000 to get into a business that has a track record of generating $800,000 worth of revenue in their very first year in business. Not a bad investment. Now, we could take it a step further. They do have a lease program with actually, it's the largest expense that you're going to incur when you're opening up, which is your vehicle. A Mercedes Sprinter van is what they require that you use. It must be fully branded, fully wrapped. They have a lease program now where you will get that and you will pay monthly payments on that beautifully wrapped vehicle. And so that will really not be a cost that you incur as an initial investment. That is going to be a cash flowing asset that you're going to be able to pay as you generate revenue. So that will not be necessarily an initial expense or initial investment that you're going to incur. That said, they do still have to disclose it because they require that you have one, and you do have the option to buy one. So if you take $172,000 and subtract $65,000, that's going to get you a more realistic number of what you're going to be able to get into this business with. And so that's about $100,000, right? $107,000 is what it's going to take to get you open and operational to begin generating, again, that potential $800,000 of revenue in your first year. By the way, you don't have to be like their average. You can be better, right? So keep that in mind as well. So we've heard all about the products. We've heard about the service that you're going to be providing. We know the initial investment. We know who they're looking for, right? That's important because this is not a franchise that's for everybody. You've got to, again, be able to communicate. You've got to be able to hire and retain and train quality salespeople to go in and multiply your time as you advertise your business. You can then start advertising more to generate more leads and get more and more people out into the marketplace spreading the gospel about your business while you can take a step back and you can begin running your business, right? Working on your business, not in your business. That is critical to do, and you'll get there if you follow their proven system. But now we got to hear about how are they going to get you launched and what is it going to take to get you launched? How quickly can you get one of these things open? So again, $172,000. You're going to go through the process. They're going to talk to you about all this stuff, and they're going to help you to see that this may or may not be right for you. But all along the way, they're going to be vetting you. They're going to be making sure that you're a good fit, right? This franchise has 11. They're in 11 states. They have 40 locations. Let me say that again. This franchise has 40 franchised locations that cover 11 states. Right? I said they were a new franchise, but that doesn't mean they're unproven. It just means that they've only been doing it for a few years. They've got their systems worked out. They've got a track record now, and they've got validation from those franchise owners, which is one of the most critical components in the franchise discovery process, is that validation. Are these franchise owners making money? Are they receiving the kind of care and the kind of training, the kind of support that they were told they were going to get when they signed on to become a franchise owner? You have plenty of different owners that you'll be able to choose from to make those connection points when the time comes and you get to that. But again, since they're still so young, they want to make sure, and I don't think they'll ever lose this, but it's critical in these first 50 to 60 to 80 that you are bringing on the right people onto the bus, right? Like Jim Collins says in Good to Great, getting the right people on the bus is more important than identifying the destination. They live, breathe, eat, and drink that, and they are very covetous of their franchise system because they know what they have. And so they're going to be very strict and very stringent on who is going to make the cut, right? Who is going to make the cut as one of their ideal avatars. And that's something that we help identify with you as well. We're never going to put you into a position where we think, oh my gosh, I hope they like them, right? We're going to know that you're going to be a good fit. Okay, that said, what does it look like to get one of these businesses up and running? And how long does it take? And what does the training and support look like? And what do I get after the fact? Well, we've already talked about some of the stuff after the fact, but let's talk about the initial training. So you're going to sign the franchise agreement after you go through the whole vetting process. And if they decide to award you the franchise and you decide to move forward with that franchise, you're going to sign the franchise agreement, you're going to pay the franchise fee, and then you're going to begin getting ready for opening. Right? You're going to lease the vehicle, you're going to get that vehicle wrapped and sent out to you. Take a couple weeks to make that happen. You're going to be doing some online training, kind of self-guided stuff. You're also going to be working with their trainers, getting all your business stuff set up, make sure everything's ready to rock and roll. So when you attend training at one of their corporate headquarters, you're going to be being trained by highly trained people that know what they're doing, and you're going to leave there knowing exactly how to operate this style of a business. Here's the best part though. While you're doing that, the franchisor is going to be marketing in your market. So when you leave and when you're on your way home, you're driving on your way home in your cool new van because you're going to fly there, you're going to drive back in your brand new beautiful van that's all wrapped up. You're all excited. I can't believe it. I can't wait. I can't wait. And you're going to get there and you're likely going to have appointments booked for you the next day. So it's go time at that point. It takes a handful of weeks to get open in these types of businesses. And this is not exclusive to this particular franchise. This is pretty common with a lot of home service brands, especially the ones that understand how turning profit and turning revenue quickly is the single most important thing to do in business. So they help you to get there. So when you're on your way home, you're going to have appointments being booked onto your calendar. Okay. How do they book these appointments? Well, they have an in-house marketing department. Why do they have an in-house marketing department? How do we know this marketing department's any good? Well, the way this company was founded. So this company was founded by a father and son team. Okay, this father and son team started this business as a way, kind of a proof of concept to the franchising system, right? They knew they had wonderful marketing because the father owns a marketing agency that is in the home services space, and he's really good at what he does. His company is really good at what they do, generating leads at a really low cost per lead. I don't want to get too much into the weeds on it. We can if we have a discussion together. But a really good cost of leads is critical, again, to keeping your overhead low and to keeping your cost of goods sold low, and then also to keep your profits high. The cheaper it is for you to get leads, the higher conversion rate you have, the better your business looks. So anyway, so they started this business, father and son team. The son was running the flooring company, Spartan Floor Coatings, and the father was running advertising for him. Son did over $1 million of revenue in his very first year. This is before they were franchising, so this is not going to be necessarily apropos to you, but it tells a nice narrative story. He's a young kid. He's doing $1 million plus of revenue in his very first year in business, in a business nobody had ever heard of before. They had no systems, no processes, no nothing that you're going to be getting, and they were able to do it. So that is the kind of marketing that you're going to be getting. That's why they say this is a marketing and sales opportunity. The marketing is outstanding. We're generating a lot of leads for you. The sales training also outstanding. Their franchise owners and the salespeople in the franchise system have a substantially higher close rate than the national average for in-home sales, which is roughly about 15% is what the national average is. They've got people that are multiple times that within their system, and it's all because of the training that you're going to receive as an owner. So simple operations, high revenue potential, really cool folks to deal with. They're just down to earth, nice, aggressive, because you got to be aggressive when you're in a sales arena like this in the home services department. So they're not going to be like pushovers or nothing like that. But they are kind, very generous with their time. Good folks to get into business with. So that is the Spartan Floor Coatings franchise opportunity. High revenue, relatively low expenses, high net profit margin, quick ramp up time, and simple path to ownership, and available in multiple areas of the country. They're only in 11 states with 40 territories sold. Plenty of greenfield in those 11 states that they're in, and that leaves 39 states outside of those 11 states that have completely open, that are completely open. So you can buy 1, 2, 3, 4, as many territories as they'll allow you to do based on the strength of your profile. All right, that is it today. If you liked this video, again, please click like, click subscribe, leave us a comment. Let us know if you want us to break down any other franchise opportunity out there. If you'd like me to do a deep dive in any franchise industry, be happy to do so. It's what we do here every single day. And if you, again, liked what you heard and it inspires you to want to get into business for yourself so you can leave that corporate grind, right? Leave corporate America behind and really take control, declare independence on your life, then visit our website, revfran.com, and complete any of the number of forms on there that you can. Take our entrepreneurial traits assessment, which will help you to determine if franchise ownership is even right for you. But again, that's at revfran.com. Click the link in the description for an easy way to access that. That's it from us today. We'll catch you on the next one. Be excellent.